Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you yourself? We are connected.
Hey, thank you. I tried to sit in the car so I can have a quiet environment because the salon is quite busy.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, it's fine. It's alright. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I think there's one more person that we're waiting for, but we can crack on. So thank you guys for coming. And yeah, so yes, so welcome to the Baby Spice Talk Show. Really, so today, because like I mentioned to you guys, it's just about talking about women, right? Because this month it's right, we celebrated International Women's Day, and also it's Mother's Day soon, right here in the UK, right? So in this mode of celebration, right? So I just wanted us to like encourage other women and other people all over the world, wherever they're watching from, right? So basically, it's today we're going to have two games, right? And then we're going to talk about let me bring out the so we're going to talk about women topics generally, right? And it's going to focus on parenting. Let me enlarge this. So it's going to focus on parenting, submission in marriage, workplace ambition, mental health, women in leadership, marriage and divorce, fertility, faith, sex in and outside marriage, right? So that's just what it's going to be focused on. So yeah. So the I don't are you guys okay with any of the things I've mentioned?
Oh,
It's fine with me.
Okay. Anyway, okay. I'm just going to introduce everyone, right? So anyway, you know me, I'm Bumi, but on this platform, I'm Bibi, right? So and we've got Alicia, and she is a life coach. She is an author, right? And yeah, she so she's got two books released, right? So I'm going to add that to the link of this I mean when it's produced, right? So I'm going to add that to it, and everyone can explore it. Right, and she is a business or a woman. She's got anything that's got to do with sending money all over the world. She is top notch top notch in that, right? And yeah, and then generally we are all mothers here, right? So and then we have Brit, right? So she's a businesswoman as well. She is into hair and yeah, makeup, right, skincare. So that's all. So she's into that, and yeah, so we're all mothers and we're all wives, right? And yeah, and we're all like Christians, or at least yeah, doing something in God's household, right? So first of all, we're just going to play a game, right? We've all use pads, like sanitary pads, right? So this is kind of like because personally I've used like I know I've used maybe like 2 or 3 products at home, but there's so many products out there. Yeah. So the first one, right? I'm just going to put this. So we can guess the manufacturer of this or what this pad is called.
I would say always.
Okay. Anyone else?
With the purple color, yeah, I would go with always as well.
Really? Okay. Okay. Okay, I think all right. Is it correct? It's soft care.
No, thank you.
So it's soft care. And so I'm going to show you the next one. This
Never
one.
heard of that brand before.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many. Yeah. Any guess what this one is?
Yeah.
This is always. This should be always.
I've always the only sanitary pad I know is always. So
I
all
know
my
always and
answers
tap pad.
always.
Very popular. Yeah, true.
I think always.
Okay. Always? Is it always? Is whisper.
Okay.
Whisper indeed.
I know. Yeah, so next one. Next one.
That looks familiar.
Looks like something I've seen in books.
In the store. It's a
Might be a
store
store
brand,
brand.
I think. Yeah.
He said, okay. It's
Henna.
Yeah. And then this one.
Finally, that must be always.
Is it?
I
Okay.
think so. Not this color.
So it's
Intimate.
intimate. Yeah.
Interesting.
Self-care.
The answers are not obvious.
I know. How about this one?
So this like we don't know our pad, sanitary pad after all.
Yeah, it's one that is I know that maybe that everyone can reach. In most it's always really. So no, okay. So this one is Pharmacare Comfort Sanitary Pad, and then sorry, I didn't put the name for this one. So since I didn't put the name for this one, I'm just going to skip because I'm going to skip. But anyway, so this one is the always. This one here is the always. Well, let me just show you. So these are like the full package for all of them. So this is the soft care and the tenor district. Yeah. So this one is the always I mentioned, and then these are the always max. So they're different. So there are loads of them, loads of sanitary pads. Right? Okay. So so we're going to skip this one then. We're going to stop. So let's go to the first question. Right? I'll like us to kind of deliberate on. Yeah, it's got to do with like husband women. Right? Would you rather be a man? And if you would, I mean, why?
I don't really be mine. I don't know at all.
Okay. Did you, Miss Elizabeth and Mr. Did you hear me? Are you frozen?
Yes, I heard. I wasn't sure whether it would be anybody can speak or you.
Oh no, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, anybody can speak. Because last already mentioned. So your camera is not on. No.
Me? My mine is on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So would I? Okay, sorry. Go on.
Okay. So I was saying that I don't think I would want to be a man. I think I love being a woman. That never crossed my mind. So if you want to be a man, I mean, how's not to be about being a woman? I mean, oh my God, the physical look alone. No. I'm telling you, I love the fact that I get to make my hair, I can make my nails. Like, I'm being honest with you, this skincare routine is something I love. I love the way we look at women, everything, and the fact that I, for one, I believe a woman is actually strong. Yeah, we have so much within us and inside of us that we can easily be underrated. However, that's the fight. You know when you're underrated as a woman that you can't do something and then you are given the chance to do that thing and then you blow everybody's mind and they're like, wow. So for me that's the fun. I love it. Like that's the fun. Just think I can't do it. Until you get it, just give me the platform and God help me. I blow your mind. Then you give me respect.
Bless.
You know, so thinking about being a woman, trust me. No. If I come back again to this world, if there's anything like that, I'll still come as a woman.
Oh, awesome. Me too. Me too. I love being a woman. I love who I am, and yeah, I can't have it another way. I know. When Beyonce mentioned, "Oh, if I was a boy, I'll do this, I'll do that." It's not about that. It's just we have loads that we do. Anyway, let me leave it to my guests to kind of like say something about that. So let me mention to Miss Lola.
Yeah, so just as Lola mentioned, I think I would not want to come into the world again as a man. I actually do enjoy being a woman. I like the feminine touch. I like the fact that we are kind of right in the middle. There's someone to take care of us while we're also gifted with the ability to nurture. You know, so we kind of get the best of both worlds. We're being taken care of while also having the ability to take care of, our offsprings or other people. The responsibility that men shoulder, I am glad that for us as women, it's not mandatory, it's if we want to. We are helpmates. So it's kind of optional and, the pressure is not on the woman. The pressure, to deliver, both from a financial, keep it home, blah, blah, blah. It's on the man, while we are supposed to be the helpmate, the nurturer, and that soft femininity side, it just works perfectly, I enjoy it. I like it. Yes, the society underestimates a woman. Some region or some society are still yet to see women as, diverse or equality. We hear all that, but times have changed and we are standing up proud. We're standing up tall and we're showing that what a man can do, a woman can do twice better, but we just like to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So that's my future.
You don't mind the bets, the pain and bets and all that.
No pain, no gain. Isn't that what they say? So if we don't go through that, maybe we might not appreciate, having an offspring, bringing someone into this world. And I think it's just part of the reason why the other gender even appreciates us the more, because they know that there is something we can do that they cannot.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, Miss Elizabeth,
I think I agree with what my sisters have said, but on a funny note, I do say to my husband that if wishes were horses, everyone will ride. That if there will be reincarnation, I will want to come back as a man so that I can marry him, and then he will come back as a woman. Because I don't want to be a man and be with somebody else. It's just for him to have a taste of what my life is like. I love being a woman. It's never crossed my mind about I wish I'm another sex. But in a practical sense, there are maybe culturally, there are times that the burden of maintaining the home, doing everything, nurturing your kids, and you just want to escape from that reality sometimes. And I'm like, yes, the man appreciates, but unless they are in our shoe, they don't often 100% grasp the gravity of what we do. They think it just come natural to us, second nature. So even when their mom, the joke is like, if I'm sick in the house, for example, I say I'm sick, everyone knows I'm sick, but I'll still drag myself to the kitchen, make sure things are sorted. If my husband, on the other hand, he is sick, he can't do anything, And then sometimes I wonder, like, when I say I'm sick, do you guys believe me that I am sick? Because it's us women, even when we're dying, we still have to nurture and look after. So on that joking aspect, I wish I can come back as a man, provided I will marry you, and then you will be the woman. But which he says is never going to happen. So
That
I'm
sounds
content
like
and I love being
that
the
sounds
woman.
like
Sorry, what did you say?
I think that sounds like a revenge mission. You
Yeah,
want to
I
come
know.
back?
Only whatever it is, that's what I said on a joking note.
Oh man,
Uh,
thank you guys. That was like yeah, that was good. And I believe most women will be that. I think when it comes to some women wanting to be men, it's just because they want to be able to pay some men back for what they've done to them or something. It's not for a positive reasons. I mean, they're not for positive reasons. They're just for like negative reasons. That's what I think. But I don't know if that's the case. But that's what I think. So when it comes, the other question I want to ask, right? So what does the Bible say about raising children? When you look at Proverbs 22, I don't know if you have your phone or your Bible with you. Proverbs 22, verse 6 and Ephesians 6:4. It's just telling us about to raise our children anyway. I can read it. So
Okay.
does anybody have it there?
when a child is
What verse?
and when
What
he's old, he
verse?
will
22 verse 6. Proverbs 22:6.
Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it.
Yeah.
So that's train up with.
Yeah, so it's just what we already know. It's just we are familiar with it already, right? And so on the Ephesians 6 verse 4 says, "Fathers, do not irritate and provoke your children to anger. Do not exasperate them to resentment, but rear them tenderly in the training and discipline and the counsel and admonition of the Lord." So yeah, it's just we already know that. I can actually answer a question without reading the Bible, but since it's a Christian-based program, so I just decided to read the Bible. So what does the Bible say about raising kids? Who wants?
I think I was talking about. Yeah, exactly what you've just said now. Train up a child in the way of the Lord. So for me, following the Bible, right from when my kids were very young, I wanted to ensure that their value system was built up based on biblical words and Christian values. That was very important to me than even academic learnings. They needed to understand what's right from what's wrong. They needed to understand what was accepted in our family, might not be accepted in another family, or might be okay in another family, but not okay within ours. So our Christian values were very important from a very young, tender age. Things we need to do, like praying, worshiping together, not using foul language, and just exhibiting, Christ-like behavior and attitude were very important in the way I nurture and train up my child as they go. And even when they were up to school age, the good thing is we're in the UK where we have Christian schools. It was a no-brainer. They were going to go to a Christian school. It wasn't something I was going to, it was a deal breaker for me. It was a big deal. So when we started looking for schools for them, of course, our first option was a Christian school, which I just believe would help them as they learn academically. They would also continually build up on the spiritual foundation we had given them.
Can I just ask a question in line with that? When it comes to Christian school, it's really important. But I just like to say, what do you think about the schools? Some schools, I think schools generally, they still teach religious studies and all that. Do you think that's kind of supplement, or that kind of helps if you cannot get your child into a Christian school?
It would provide them with some basic information, but being in a religious school kind of takes a notch up. So I know in religious schools, despite the fact that the general curriculum allows for some certain things, some religious schools would not teach them. It's just what it is. Because it's against their values, it's against their beliefs, and it's in line with what we want. That's the expectation. However, a mainstream school, it's the curriculum, it's just they're not strict about it. If it's part of the curriculum, they have to teach everybody, there's no exceptions, and they're just more open and flexible to other things, where in a Christian school there's more stringent rules and discipline in place.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think one thing I held on to what Lola just said now, it's about the fact that what works in your household, what's your values. And I think we need to keep hold of that, because that's what's lacking in the society. If Bible is asking us to train up a child in the way that he should go, so that when he's old, he will not depart from it. A lot of the times we leave the responsibility to the society. And so by the time we now want to get them back, we're in conflict with what is already in them. So the foundational years is when we're expected to get them to imbibe in our cultural values, in our biblical values, all the things that we want them to exhibit when they get out there. So that when they're out there, then they can make an informed decision. They already know what's wrong from right. They already know when somebody is teaching them the wrong thing that is against their values. So we can't leave that responsibility. I always say to people, God has entrusted these children to us. I know that there are instances where it's a struggle, it's a conflict. The reason why there's this conflict in the first place is because there's a destiny that is birthed, that is to be established. So that there are forces that be fighting against that destiny happening. So we are the one that God has entrusted with these destinies. We are the one that has the sole responsibility, with the help of God, nurturing them and training them in the way they should go, so that when they eventually now go, they go informed, they go equipped, they go knowing what they stand for, rather than anything and everything looks like it.
Oh, great. I believe that's really important, because with that they have something to follow. Even when we are not there, when parents are not there, they have God's word, they have biblical principles to follow to guide them. And it's really vital. It's really vital. And Lola, do you want to say anything? I can't hear you. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, do you mean me? I'm not saying anything.
No, not
Lola. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I call us.
I think there's network issue from your end.
Network.
Okay, so the sisters have said, my sisters have said a lot. These are the married folks we teach already. So, and your take is really profound. However, I just wanted to add that Lola said initially, what values do you have? You can't give what you don't have. So if you as a parent, you have to ensure that you have a lot inside of you, like more than enough. It will flow both directly and indirectly, because you're the first role model children are going to have contact with. And so as much as you teach them by virtue of your words, also by your attitudes and character, you tell them, okay, our value is they are accountable in this family, for example. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
So I'm trying to say that what if the Bible says train up your child in the way he or she should go, that means you as a parent know how the child or the way the child should go. So we have to get all of the knowledge, get all of the training as parents, be disciplined yourself, so that when the children come, as much as you tell them this is what you should do, this is the way you should go, they have to also see that you're walking in that way, in that path, that you're also doing what you've asked them to do. I think that makes it a lot easier. And I've seen cases of parents who tell their kids to do something different and they are doing another thing entirely. And then those kids go out there and see something else they're going to do, and now they are confused. Okay, which do I do? My dad or my mom is doing something different, and this is what they want me to do, but society is also doing this, and we leave them as confused children.
Yeah,
You also take up school. Like, is it okay to actually depend on the religious studies course or subject taught in school? Well, for me, while we were growing up, I don't think we ever took that seriously, even as students. We never take CRS or CRT seriously. Religious studies, we never took it seriously. We just I think maybe it's still that way, even now. Students don't really take it seriously. It's just like one of the subjects they most times do not even develop interesting. Except of course as a parent we have taught them to value anything that has to do with their faith. Then when they get to school and they meet such a thing, they can take it seriously. Otherwise, it will just be like every other subject, and then they can decide, oh, I don't like math, I don't like religious studies. A lot of times it's even boring in school. I remember those days way back in secondary school. So yeah, it still boils down to the home. That's the first place. I mean, that's the most important place you can train your child. The home.
Well, we know when you mentioned about taking it seriously. I think maybe it's because we're already familiar with it at home. Like familiar with, or maybe going to reading the Bible or praying and all that, and then at school you just want to do something different rather than just to do the same old thing. I don't know, because for example they will teach, especially in the home when you're reading Bible every day. In the morning, because I know some parents kind of train their children in the morning, 5 a.m. They woken up, prayed, read the Bible, do Bible study at home, and then go to school again and then doing another Bible study. So I think maybe we just want to do something else other than do that one. At the same time, I just mean because you don't have the foundation, and you just don't take it as something important. Just like for example, when I was doing Yoruba at school, because I was speaking Yoruba I spoke Yoruba, so at school it was what is this now again? So I think I understand that concept. Anyway, so with regards to raising kids, right? Would you raise your boys differently your girls, or would you follow the same pattern? For example, would you say that the girls should only be in the kitchen, and because you want to prepare them for marriage, and the boys should just go and play football because yes they are going to become footballers, or they are going to be more ambitious than the girls? So I don't know. How are you going to make it domesticated? Make the girls domesticated or not? How are you going to? How should Christians, or should we bring up our kids, like sex-wise?
I think bringing up kids by gender has gone with the older generation. And we can clearly see how that has played out now in this season. So I think bringing up a child should be based on identifying the strength of each child, irrespective of the sex. There are basic things that they all will need to learn to do, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl. You need to be able to cook for yourself anyway, so that you will survive. There will be points in your life where you live alone. So you need to do. I have both genders. and my boy child is more in tune with our African dishes, for example. Whereas my girl child tends towards other continental dishes. Now we do all dishes in my house. We're not the typical household where we eat African meals. We eat more of other dishes than African meals. But I made it a point of duty that there are certain basic African dishes that they must learn to do. Because even when you're older, you need to have friends. You might not like them. You entertain people. You want to be able to do something different from what they know. Like if you're using your English friend and you're cooking English food, for example, that's not what you know. But as part of you showing your culture, the things that is unique to you might not like it, but you already know how to do it. So instances like that, then you should be able to do it. So it doesn't matter whether you're the boy or whether you're the girl. So also, if we're raising a boy to say you don't need to be so domesticated, and then you eventually marry, because you don't know who you end up falling in love with. You don't want to burden that female if she's the only one that has to do the cooking, or the shoots her down and she's not able to. But you need to be able to survive. I've accepted the fact that I'm raising kids in a different continent from where I'm from. So my son might end up marrying another culture. How can you then teach your wife what you don't know how to do? And then you can't be putting pressure on her that you want her to learn to do for you. The best person that will teach her is you, because it's your culture, it's your food. And these days now, girls are also pursuing ambition, pursuing career. So you might end up being in a job, in a career that is so demanding that you won't be able to be fully domesticated like our generation. So if the man doesn't know how to do it, then how are you going to be able to help and support your wife? So I think with the season, the generation we're in, raising them shouldn't be gender-based. It should be something, whatever the gender, male, female, we should teach them the same thing. They'll have different strengths and weaknesses, but they should still be exposed to the same foundational teachings of how they will survive in the big wide world.
Exactly what Elizabeth. Coincidentally, I was discussing this with a couple earlier on, and in today's world, it's very important to have some form of skill, soft skill, and be able to do at least a little bit of everything, whether you're a boy or you're a girl. I think I was telling someone about AI taking over a lot of things. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Initially we were talking about career versus having a soft skill. Like Elizabeth, being able to make hair, being able to cook, being able to sew. Being able to do something maybe that you enjoy doing, or you're passionate and you can also monetize. In the world we live in, builders, cleaners, they're all living a comfortable and a simple life. So you can be both either a man or a woman, can be a cleaner, can be a builder, can be anything, can be an electrician, anything they want to be. So gone are the days where roles were for specific gender or this time, whatever the Bible says, whatever your hand findeth to do it diligently. Diligently. So going from that, we should identify, as she said, the skill sets or the strengths of each child and utilize it well. And even in areas where they don't really like I might have a girl child that doesn't like cooking. We should still encourage her to at least know the basics. Make sure that if she's in a position where there's no food, she can pull up something herself, and be able to be independent. That's my few points.
Yeah. No, great. So it's just about training them similarly for them to have the same skills or desire to have to be multi-skilled, right?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, good. I like that. I like that. I know I don't have the opportunity yet to train the two genders, so I'm only training one.
Don't worry, there's still time.
Just go to the next one. So what's submission marriage? What does it mean?
With regards to submission, I the basically two good heads are better than one, right? With emphasis on it's good, because I'm also conscious it's not every home that has that. But if you've chosen right with the right partner, it's easy to submit. You can trust that God will place them as the head of the home, that they would right, and even if they make mistakes along the way, it's not an opportunity to say I told you so. It's an opportunity for you to learn from mistakes and go on from there. As long as the man has the mind of Christ and obeys God's words that says husband love your wife as Christ loved the church. So as long as the man loves his wife and loves his home, it's just almost submission is kind of the smaller things, little things in what you it will come more easily and more it will come with ease to submit. I think that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah, sure.
I agree with what Lola said. I think the key thing is choosing right. So if you choose right, submitting will not be a problem. The instruction God gives us is submit. And oftentimes we miss the signs, the red flags that are there. So by the time the common saying is the opposite. The very thing that attracted you to this person, when you start living together, you rub on each other, and you see each other's weaknesses, like, so the person I'm submitting to. But if it's a godly person, like I said, following the leading of Christ, and be loving the way it should, submission will then come easy for you. God has caused to do what humanly is difficult for us. Just like a man to loving a wife is difficult for a man who is not a godly man. To submit for that reference for us to submit because it's an area that needs our attention. Women naturally we are endowed, we are multi-skilled, we have multi-ability. So oftentimes when you see your partner in weak areas and see your strength, then you start thinking what I'm submitting to. But when the person is leading in a godly way, you then see weaknesses that complement. So you're still submitting, strengthening ways, vice versa. So like Lola said, it's not an opportunity. I told you something went wrong. You're still submitting because you know that short is where God has called you and help me to help with.
Yeah.
Submission is difficult, but it is our calling.
Mm-hmm.
So choose right. It's not everything that we do in faith and that comes naturally to us. We only do it because it's the right thing to do. We do it because that's what of us Christ-like. Same thing. We relate that to marriage. Submission might not come in, but if you according to God's will, the man and God's will, leading according to God's principles. So weaknesses that you may struggle to no one to submit where you're called to empower, courage, and to help.
So basically, that's kind of question with next question, which is like the submission. Does the law emphasize when Bible said don't show their wives, in Ephesians 3:19, does it affect the submission? You guys have already covered it really because I think it's something like they don't need to really demand for it. I think when they're having to demand for it because they've done something done something that maybe they don't deserve that submission. That's why like they're kind of like demanding the respect. That is what it's entitled to. So it's something that we ought to give to them. Really. So yeah. That's my take on that as well. Like, I need to say one time here. I've got lots of things to add as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to go to the next one. So which is got to do with workplace ambition, right? And it's got to do with does the Bible support women having career ambition, or should their role be just to take care of the home?
That's a very interesting area that over time you hear different concepts about it. And I think when we say career is relational. I sometime back I did a study on Proverbs 1, and then I kind of broke it down into this and to highlight like the things that this woman does. Because I think we just always think of Proverbs 1 woman. It started with her raising her child being loyal. Every other thing that was after that was talked about. So I think that's there for a reason. So when we say career, and I think the society has made it look like until you are in the workplace, whether working from home or working from outside, even raising God's offspring, that's a mission in itself. That takes a whole lot of you. So a woman shouldn't feel that I'm not pursuing my career because I'm a full-time mom. Because you're raising leaders of tomorrow. Our children are meant to be arrows. They are meant to go further than we can get to. So that's the career. Now when we look at the societal definition of career, we all have strength, we all have weakness, whatever you want to pursue. I as a person I have a legal background. And then I had to at some point make the decision to say that career sits at the back of the board, and why I spend time with my children. Because another to get as far as I wanted to go, something has to give. And it is what is in the society. Even a man that pursues a career is part of the wife. The man can do because the woman is hopeful in some areas. Something is given. I say to people when we say salvation is free, it's a wrong conception. Because salvation is a costed Jesus life. So when we say career, it is really to each person's circumstances. So if you see raising your kids as career path to pursue, make sure you follow them to a certain point in their life. That's fine. If you are the type of people are not that maternal to say I want to stay with my kids, I want to pursue this. Then so be long as things in the home manage where what needs to be covered. Now in the Proverbs 1 story. Bible reference there something that husband known in the gate. So I'm sure that husband is known for a good reason. Because this woman she will acquire, do this, she will do that. That's somebody actively being multi-intentional, putting a hand here and there. So career for me I feel relational, and you have to look at your circumstances. If I have to think of where I will be career-wise, I see a lot of my mates started together, I know where they are. Humanly speaking, there are times that this is where I should be now. But then I remind myself when I look at the time I've given to them, or the things that have come out of me, I look at it as if I'm still fulfilled in this area. Because pursuing so it's identifying what you're calling a season of time. And then once that's done, Proverbs one woman go on after she raised well. Enough to say this child will survive things and then have to do all of things.
Thanks for that. You going to say something?
I agree with everything you said. The key things I would also emphasize is everyone's circumstances are different. You know. If you're blessed to be in a home where your kids are well taken care of, your home is in place, household chores are handled by someone, and have the opportunity to build a career, and there's a balance. I wouldn't say nothing suffers because you can never give equal time to everything, but you're getting a good balance. Then of course, go all out with your career, because I'm also a strong believer opportunity comes so when you have an opportunity, grab it. However, if your career is at the detriment of your family, of your children's growth, then something has to give. Your priority first and foremost should be the gift God has given to you to nurture and your family, especially in their young and formative years, right? So if you're in a career path where you're not even staying at home, you have no time to interact, to build a relationship with them. By the time you get in bed already, then you really need to question that career. If that's right path for you at that point in time. Yeah. In the future, it will be fine. But at that point in time, in that season of your life, is that the right path for you? Is that what's important to you? What's priority? Right? I can remember before I got married, and I'll say that quickly. I was in a women's conference, and then I asked the question. I said, why was it like we don't have it all as women? You either have a good home, or you don't have a career, or you have a career, or your home is tidy, kids look kept, or your home is tidy, you have a career, but you like a bombshell, like you're not taking care of it. Why can't we just have a good balance across everything? Have a good home, have raise up your kids well, bustling career, and still look good and when you come out. And the response was, you can do that. You can be all you want to be, but at different seasons in life. Yeah. So you have to identify what season you are in, and make sure that you're prioritizing accordingly, and of course being the best version of you at that point in time. Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I know. In terms of when we form a family and then things happen, they will just need to make decisions to kind of nurture the home, right? So I think that's why like we need to make decisions. But at the same time, why does it have to be women that need to make such decisions? Because some families men make such decisions, right? I'm going to have my take on that because probably the woman's career has more weight than the man's career. Maybe that's why.
So the question you asked is why must they be the woman? Yeah. Remember in previous conversations we've said two good heads marrying the right partner. Do you understand? And another thing we brought up in this conversation is circumstances, because every individual family circumstances are different. Now why must it be the woman? It's not always the woman. It's just more prominent and obvious by nature. The woman is the nurturer. However, personally, I have a family member where the man actually made the sacrifice, left his high-paying job in Nigeria, and relocated children to nurture the children while the wife stayed back in our oil company. Yeah. Again, circumstances, individual circumstances. For her, if she waited a few more years, she could get payout. She had a lot of side business. So it made financial sense for her to hold on to her job while he left his bank job and stay with the kids. Individual circumstances. But again, two heads where it's not a partner or an husband that has an ego issue, or it's a reasonable man. It's not always the case that it's the woman, but it just depends on the circumstances in that family and who was in the right position to make that sacrifice.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I'm also going to move again because I cannot continue asking questions that topic. So the next one is mental health. So how do you think the church as what does the church take on mental health for women? I think she's muted. You're both muted.
The church take on mental health, I think it just is a business that we best to answer that question for each church. Because when you say mental health, it's approached differently based on culture. In my culture, and I will speak for my culture first. There are certain things that the woman needs to go through. Let's say you've given birth, you're not resting enough, you still have responsibilities, or you're working, managing the home. That is you're expected to. That's normal. Get on with it. Whereas in another society, as soon as you say, I think I'm emotional, I've got anxiety, or I'm nervous, or I'm stressed. You're listening to that needs to be looked into, and then you're given time. So it's seen differently by different cultures. So now bring it out in church. If the church is looking out for their immediate family, which is a church member, there are certain signs that you see. The woman is saying, this is a bit too much for me. Are we responding enough? How can we help? It's not everything that has to be prayer. Some things you need physical support. There will be circumstances where we will pray for you. But I think those things, leadership churches, they need to ask that question. Another thing, you want this. You want to see the church. Whether the church is able to meet that need. Because when the need met that frustration sets in, my children letting me down. But if the church understands that they will identify the need, then they can think how to meet that need.
Yeah. Thanks for that. It's allowed. Okay.
Yeah. So again, I agree with that. I just think church. Well-being and mental health wellness is kind of something that's come up more recently. Right. So it's not part of the foundation of the church. So we are more recently ensuring more awareness. Right. So it's not at the level B. It should still be embedded in our DNA, but we're not there yet. For obvious reasons. First, the salvation, giving. There's so many things to talk about. That mental wellness is like 1%. So many conversations we're having, right? But however, in our act of love, we all just need to keep bearing that at the back of our heads, and just checking up on people, being there for people, and just understand that most people, some people can be different stages with their mental health. So that we can support them in the right way.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. But I think in terms of the mental health, I think it's just based on the structure of the church or what facilities, because there's some churches that are kind of like they are all over you, right? And why some you're not all over you, they just like you have to go to church and get out of it, go back home, that's it. Why some churches they have follow, if you don't go to church they have follow team that like follow you up, why you church or your cell leaders or your fellowship we always be on your neck and you come to church, all this kind of thing. So there's always like frequent communication is very important. If there's no communication, I think it's going to cause a problem. And so anyway, let me move because I'm trying to rush this. So the next one, right? So does mental health mean that you're not a Christian? Doesn't mean that you don't have faith, or as in is this something you're ashamed of? Right. And because when we say mental, not only talking about somebody mad, but talking about somebody happy, being stressed and all that. So because I know some people might see mental health as something like person is like breaking everything and scratching things. Some people might interpret it that way. That's why we depends on the knowledge that people have. So is this something you're ashamed of? Is this something that means that you're not? I mean, you don't have faith. This one has
I don't think you don't have faith or to be ashamed of. I think, to be honest, most people, I'd say 80% of people do go through some form of mental health issues at some point in their lives. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just there's more awareness for it. Even mood swings can be classified as a mental health issue. And by nature, a woman has periods and has mood swings. You know, during that space. So now she be ashamed of that. No, as long as she's aware and you know she's taking the right steps to ensure that she's handling it, dealing with it the right way. Maybe taking some time out for herself. Maybe communicating to her loved ones around so that they know to just give her a bit of space. Whatever it is, but I think it's more awareness, communication, and putting it, flipping it. Some people say mental health negative, but actually flipping it, to the right coin as a positive thing, and just you taking out time to look after yourself, basically.
Yeah. So would you say that a Christian should seek for therapy or seek for medical help?
Most definitely.
Or should they, just like when the word of God says that you have a sound mind, renew your mind day and night. So is that sufficient? Right? Is you just having the word of God, renew your mind, God help. Or do you just also need to go seek for medical help?
So on one hand, I believe God has given doctors, therapists and psychologists wisdom for a reason. Right? So that we can use avail ourselves of the services they offer. Now that doesn't stop the word of mouth. That doesn't stop claiming what the Bible says about your condition. But we as believers still need to apply wisdom and speak to the experts in the field that we require, or in the healthcare that we require, while standing on our faith and speaking the word into our situation, into what we want to say.
Thanks. Mr. Elizabeth, are you saying something? I know you're.
Yeah, I'm going to contribute. I agree with what she said. And also I will say nothing to be ashamed of when we mental health. We need to Just call it what it is and address it and seek help if one needs the help. The woman with the issue of blood, I'm sure that she faced stigma as well, because for how many years that was bleeding. Bible when she went to the physician, she spent all until she got to that where it said, that consequence if I can only touch the hem of the garment of Jesus. That's her crying out, say, I've done all I could. So there is a place for the medical support. There's also the place for spiritual support. So I think we just need to get to that point where let's not stigmatize. You have it. Speak up so that you can get the necessary help. If it's something that can be medically sorted out, that's fine. If it's Jesus that will do it, then that's fine. We shouldn't make a woman like, you don't have faith. That's why you have a financial issue. Whatever will get you the help. So that's why I reference the woman issue of blood. Like for her, she did all she could. It was when it wasn't well, and she wouldn't have been welcome easily in that place where Jesus was. Because she will have considered clean. That's why she touch the hem. Because she has to do it like in secret. Because clearly everybody knows her problem. Everybody knows that she's clean. But for her, that was with God. Like I've done all I. So I felt that if she was quiet, if she was ashamed, she was embarrassed about it, she wouldn't have gotten the power, the virtue that came out of Jesus. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Shouldn't stigmatize it.
Yeah. I think it's a nation of both. Because when it comes, for example, even people get depression when they have babies. Some do that, and because some things that the people women lack, they kind of like get stressed and all that. Just like scream or do something, right? So at the same time, anger doesn't mean that yes, go mental health. It just means kind of distressing. So when it comes to this, I just feel it depends on the what the one that is feeling you out to know like I need to speak to someone. Especially when it comes to something like obvious, when it comes to childbirth, after childbirth, right. There are a lot of medical people around, so it's obvious that you want to talk to somebody around because you're dealing with another child. A newborn baby anyway. So I'm just going to talk about ask something in terms of like fertility. So would you recommend that Christians seek if they're struggling, should they seek medical treatment, all this IVF and all that to get babies, or should they just keep depending on God?
The way I would answer that is my children, for example, one of my kids is wanting to be a doctor, for example. So I'm praying for her to give her wisdom, for God to use that blessing. So if I'm hoping that every church goer only gets spiritual healing, then there's nothing for her to do. How is she going to use the gift that God has given her? So there are times that when Jesus needed, he just spoke a word. And there's also where he actually put mud in the eyes of the blind, asking to go and wash. Depends on how God choose to do it. Because some people will stigmatize IVF and say you lack faith. But God would choose to work in way because there'll still be some people who will try IVF and work, and they'll end up conceiving naturally. Or natural, that should say. So I think we do our part and leave the rest to God to do. So there is a place for the spiritual and there is a place for the physical. Sometimes we'll walk through the hands of men. to get the glory. Sometimes he wants to do ways that you know this is him. So I don't have anyone going up to the doctor to help to do whatever they feel like needed in their circumstance.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. It's Ola. Are you there?
Sorry, I have. I had to attend to something. Sorry, what was the question? I missed the question.
If Christians are struggling with faith, should they go through medical treatment like IVF all those artificial surrogacy, or just depend on God to give them baby?
So in my mind, if I was to respond in my mind, similar to what I said earlier, God has given us ideas, this wisdom. I can only trust that God has placed someone's heart. You know, whether it's IVF, God has given some wisdom to be able to go first solution. So should Christians take advantage of what God has given? Yes, 100%. However, there's sometimes there's ritual element of this thing. Every individual different, and the way God deals or works with everybody different. So personally, you have heard God, and God says, wait, my child. Then of course, if you're convinced in your heart of hearts that God says, like Abraham. Yes, Abraham. God says you be father to many. Fine, I know in those days there was no IVF or whatever. And I think Abraham went to carry his wife's younger sister and knock. You know. But God had promised him that through his wife he would have an offspring. And yes, it was delayed, but it happened. Right. And if we go back to that Bible, the concubine's son wasn't recognized. Being that God promised that this through this situation, this classical situation is the son that then makes the father of many nations and all of that stuff. So if you've heard specifically from God and He says the way you should then by all means follow. But if not, I'll say please knock yourself out. Use as if you're going to carry surrogacy, go all the mile. That's my thing.
I would recommend a divorce. Let me that way.
If the life is life-threatening, or even if it's causing emotional damage. I mean, for me, life-threatening. It is the person that is alive that is married. That is what by default separates, and nullifies a marriage. So if you want to stay alive. Move. That's I'll pause there and let.
What situation will make you recommend divorce to a Christian?
I think it's one of those tricky questions. So as a Christian and as a counselor, I'll approach each situation differently. So if someone's life is in danger in the relationship, like Lola said, then I wouldn't be saying divorce. There's separation, there is running for safety. So you can stay away, and if it's something that can be resolved, that help can be gotten, whether for them to go for counseling, to manage the situation and see if they can come back. Now, as a counselor, you listen to people. Sometimes you don't necessarily give an answer. It is in the person talking and telling you what the problem is. Sometimes they'll be able to come to a conclusion themselves. Because saying divorce is not as easy as just walking away. They might be connected in so many ways, financially, emotionally, that it's a long process. The turmoil is a long process. So Divorce is not the straight answer and say do it. If your life is in danger, we'll encourage safety. Get away from that environment, first of all. So divorce is the process
Hmm.
of it should be when every avenue have been explored, when every option has been considered, and then there is no way forward. Then the individuals should be the one to come to that conclusion, not me as a person.
Yeah. But in that regard, how would you avoid
Sorry,
like?
yeah. Sorry,
Um,
I have a quick, not really a question on, just off the back to say divorce. So I guess in realistic term, divorce is when the paper is signed
The
and we
paper
are
is like, yeah, that's
legally,
right.
so we are legally. So yeah. So when I also said born, I meant you're basically not staying in the same house with that person. Both of you need to. However, back in the days, especially with our parents, I've seen people not divorced on paper, but they were separated for 30 years and they never came back together. They've just been, you have that, you're married, but then you're not really married because everybody has moved on, but you've not officially signed the papers to say you're divorced. And you're
in that time. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry you're still talking. In
No,
that
that's
time,
fine. Continue.
it's
Yes, please.
acceptable that after a certain number of years, which even now, legally, if you've been separated from each other for a certain number of years, you're considered divorced.
yeah.
So to be separated for 30 years and still say you bear each other's name makes you married, it is not. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, so I think that explains my point. So if you've been separate for such a number of years, whether then, whether now, the law recognizes it that the paper might not have been signed, but if certain length of time has elapsed, you're considered, you can move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's 2 years or 3 years or so. If you're something like that, I'm not sure. I think it's a certain period, then it's official. Yeah. But at the same time, it's important for us to ensure that yes, the home is, as in we keep our home as Christians, because otherwise we will not be able to encourage people that are non-Christians, because if they are loved divorces as Christians, then non-Christians will not, or people that are not even married will never want to get married. So yeah. Because we have to, as Christians, that is one thing, we have principle, we have things to follow. We have godly principles, and if we can't follow that effectively, then we are not ministering to others that way. That's how I say it anyway. But in terms of like having issues and waiting till I agree with what you said though. I'm just trying to say, just because of other people as well, when it comes to waiting and ensuring, saying that maybe it's because waiting until when there is like abuse and someone's life is in danger, does that not encourage abuse and maltreatment or something between each other? Like, how do you prevent that? So are you saying that the way to prevent it is just physical separation and not living in the same house?
I think again, it's personal circumstances. I take a liberal view on a lot of things as a Christian, because as a Christian, our guide is the Word of God, the Bible. We are Christ-like. So what will Jesus do in this instance? The woman that Jesus met at the well, she talks about how many husbands she's had. So if it was to be now, or even then, if Jesus wasn't the way he was, he shouldn't have been seen talking to her. Do you understand? Because she's been with many husbands. But clearly there was something not working in the relationship. So now as Christians, how was it in the beginning? We all have differences. That's why most time when people separate, they'll say they separated for irreconcilable differences. I feel that no matter how difficult a situation is, anything we take to the feet of Jesus, back to where we started before, if you chose rightly, if you chose a man that you know that he's being led by God, you will have differences. And in every home, we can't just assume that, oh, because this is God ordained relationship, because God said this is my husband, God said this is my wife, that we won't have instances where we want to go our separate ways. But we bring it back to the feet of Jesus and walk through things. And that's why if counseling is needed when things are happening, a lot of the time is because there's a build-up of issues to get to the point where you can't deal with it anymore. No couple wakes up overnight and say, let's separate, let's divorce. It's always a build-up. It stems from somewhere. And if things are ignored, then it gets to that point where things get out of hand. So suggesting a divorce will not be the first go-to until all areas have been covered. That's why for me, I will look at, unless, again, I say, unless like your life is in danger, this is becoming physical. If it's not physical, if it's a godly home, yes, we are bound to have misunderstanding and differences, but it can be walked through with the right help, with the right guide. Not in a judgmental environment or atmosphere, but where you know that you can be vulnerable and people will hold your hands and work with you. And that's why I tend to recommend to couples, always have friends who are like mentors. They might be your friend, but there are people who have worked further than you have. So you can learn one or two things from them expressly or unexpressed. You can pick up things because every home has their own challenges. And then you also have friends who are couples that you are probably like in the same phase of life. So that sometimes when things are happening, you know that it's not just unique to your relationship, it's every home. And then also couples that you have gone further ahead of them, that you are now like their mentor. Because you know that you have people looking up to you. So there are things that you will work on because you know the impact that will have on those coming behind you. So I think once these three areas are covered, a healthy marriage will emerge, but it's not given. You have to work for it. You have to work on it. So that's my view.
Oh, bless. Thanks for that. Oh my word. We've already spent so much time already, right? So I'm just going to ask two more questions and we'll play this game and then we'll just go. Right? And that, because I have so many questions to ask here, but it's fine. Maybe I'm doing. It's going to be a series or something. I don't know, but I just wanted it to be focused on this month, and that's it. And so the next one is got to do with, right? Do you think, like, oh, okay, what? Okay, let me ask this way. So in terms of like, do you think sex is one of the things that causes issues in marriages in Christian home?
I'll let Lola talk first.
Sorry?
I'll let Lola talk
Why
first.
Lola?
So that it's not just my view.
But it's okay. So, I think there was a preaching. One of my pastors in church was saying one day, and of course, it's a guy, and he said, whether we like it or not, sex is one of the ways in which a man feels loved in a marriage. Yeah. So for a woman, we like the flowers, we like the love language, taking care of us, doing all those stuffs. But for a man, one of the topmost things on the list is actually sex. And in my head, I'm like rolling my eyes, like, really, But there's a reason why God, created sex. If you go to Songs of Solomon, Solomon will tell you so many beautiful things about sex. Yeah. I think it's important in marriage. I think it helps tighten up the bond between the couple. Remember that a time would come in your marriage, in your relationship, where the kids go on their way and it's just both of you. And I've seen some older generations where they become strangers in the home. And it really hurts my heart when I see a once beautiful home, where the couple just become co-tenants in the home. You don't, it just hurts. It just breaks my heart, because even in old age, you can still love on each other. You can still feel connected. But, for this particular couple, I know there's the absence of sex in their marriage. And you can see that in their relationship. You can see that in their home. And a once bubbling and interesting home has become just quiet, just strange. Of course, if you don't know the details, you just wonder, why are these people not talking to each other? Or why they sleep in separate rooms. You probably wouldn't read much meaning to it. But, like I said, it just breaks my heart. So, yes, as a woman, we have so much responsibilities already, and it is tiring. I must say, it is. The last thing I think when I come to bed is anybody, if you call it. But we have to be intentional. We have to try as much as possible to prioritize and just show the men as well that we see them, we love them, and we're here for the long run.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
This question still stands, but does that? Can that be interpreted as a submission stated in the Bible? Or is the submission stated in the Bible only got to do with respect and all that? Or is the submission got to do with you submitting your body to your husband?
It is part. Remember, the Bible says your husband owns your body. Even though we don't like to emphasize that part of the Bible, but it is in the Bible. So it is part of submission. And as it says, your body is your husband's body and your husband's body is your body. So what are we talking about? If he owns your body, then he can, of course, with godly love, do whatever he can with the body, quote unquote. Yeah. So it is part of submission. It's my answer.
Okay.
Again, caveats, easier said than done. But that's the reality. Yeah.
Yeah. The two questions. Yeah.
I agree with what Lola said, and I think I would just chip in on how over the years I've learned to deal with that matter and how I speak to couples on that matter. And I think when we look at it as sex, it is a chore, it is transaction.
Yeah. It's better than my question actually, yeah.
But when we think of it as love making, that is the that keeps you two going. It's intimacy. It is one thing that you can't do with any other person and every other person. That's just what binds the two of you together. You can have really good friends that you're cordial with, that you enjoy their company, but you can't go as far as doing that with them. So if this is the one thing that is unique to just the two of you, and then you both have to work on it. Now, there are external factors that now make it difficult to do regularly. But this is where, as a couple, you work on each other, perceiving there is a season of life that maybe you're less busy, you're less tired, you do it more often. So you can't say, oh, before we had children, we used to have sex every day. Then now children are on the scene. You still expected I would do it every day. So what are the things that you can do to make me relax? If I've gone to work, I will be tired when I've had a long day. And I come home and cook. And I finally get into bed. I don't want anyone touching me. We went through a season now where we know that my husband knows if I've gone to work and it's been a long day, before I come back, he can sort out dinner. He will make sure that the little one is put away. So I only come home, put my feet up, and maybe eat. We have a relaxing time where we can either watch telly together or just catch up on the day. So by the time I'm in bed, I'm a bit more relaxed. And then we also have to look at it as service. Back to your question of submission, is that us still submitting? serving, if both parties look at our relationship as an opportunity to serve each other, you serve the person's need, not your own need. The times that I don't feel like I'm not in the mood, but if it's a really need that my husband can't sleep that night unless he has it, I'll serve that need. But it doesn't mean that every night, every time I'm not in the mood, I'll serve the need. That's where the understanding comes in. That's when it's not a chore. And then he also ensured, knowing that I've served him, it's not like I wanted to do it. He will ensure that at least I enjoy it too. So when you see it as if it's something that you're both gaining from, there are times I start off like, I don't really want to do it. But then in the end, I've enjoyed it. I'm relaxed because I'm able to release and then I can sleep better. So I think those are the things that we need to be looking at, and those are the areas that we should stop stigmatizing. Let's talk about it as it is. Let's encourage couples to manage their needs each time, depending on how the situation is. So if we're not having it every day, it doesn't mean that we don't have a good sex life. It just means that season, so that by the time the kids are gone, we've built something to last. But if we're doing it as a chore, so of course there'll be times I can't do that chore, I'm physically tired. And you haven't to lighten the burden, but you just want to come and then let me serve you. So it's both ways. So if the man understands, the woman understands, we will get a result. Both parties are pleased.
Sure.
Yeah, just a quick one. I liked the word of service. Once you see it as a service, then and then like you said, it's love making. So you try, and it's not a core; it's an opportunity to be intimate. I like that.
Yeah. True. I agree as well. But at the same time, like you said earlier when we were talking about the submission, it's got to do with both party. So they have to be an atmosphere created, but it's not like you're doing. Even it's one shouldn't say that, oh, I'm doing you a favor. The lady, the woman will say, I'm doing you a favor, and the man will say, I'm doing you a favor as well. That kind of thing. And then you need to. It has to be like something that is mutual, and then how often you are having it is kind of up to both of you really, but it also has to be like you're creating the atmosphere. For example, like you said about Mrs. Elizabeth mentioned about him getting everything ready, getting the children set up, and then you are back and you're relaxed, right? That is an opportunity to that kind of moment. But when it comes to like, oh, the man doesn't do anything and he just like leaves you to do all the housework, and you're tired, and then you get back to bed, and then or maybe you go to work and then you still come back and cook. I know there are a lot of things happening in people's homes, right? So and then it's only you that is doing everything, and you're still needed to do such thing. I said such thing. I said that's a bad thing, and you still need to have make love or like be intimate. Then then that is an issue. So it's not slavery. It's nothing like that. It's a mutual respect, a mutual agreement between both parties, and the moment has to be created between both parties.
Otherwise, can I just
cheated?
So can I come into when you're saying when you said atmosphere mutual? Yeah, I'm like
No, but it's not every time it's not every time that you have to put candles and all that. When I say atmosphere, it has to be like for example, you saying sweet words to your partner within the day.
The truth is, in reality, sometimes it's not all of that. I mean, every home is different, every marriage is different.
Yeah.
In reality, sometimes you're even gone, you are sleeping in la hand, you just get a tap.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing mutual about that.
True. But that doesn't happen all the time though.
But when I think it just goes back to what Elizabeth said. It's just service, Yeah. So if there's a call at that point in time, and I think Pastor Tini also mentioned that you just try and do out of love, And if it's something, because I've heard some people say, it makes them angry or they feel like a sex worker or whatever, I think if it's getting to that point where you feel a bit of resentment or you feel a bit of anger or something, then maybe it's a case of communication. So like you said, maybe you get home and you have to be the one to cook, do that, and they still expect you. I think that's where, from my perspective, I think that's where communication comes in, because he might not be aware. He might think you've got the strength of a lion and you're fine. You can cook, and after coming back from the day's work, and you should still be like a machine on the bed. It just might not be aware. So you need to communicate your needs. And I think that would help. As they say, the man is not in your head. They just know they want what they want at that particular point in time. So if you're tired, if you maybe need a massage, if you need help, let's ensure we're communicating our softer needs so that they can also work with us. That's mine. Sorry, I'll go back on mute.
No, it's fine. Yeah, true that. But anyway, so when a couple have a mindset whereby, or maybe like they are feeling having a negative feeling when it comes to sex, in terms of like they maybe they have something happened and they're just coming out of trauma and all that, or they're just feeling uncomfortable in the atmosphere. How would you encourage such couple? How would you encourage the man or the woman separately?
As a Christian, or as a friend, or as an individual?
Anyhow you want it, but it can be that way, because we are all women are.
So we're talking Christian marriages.
Yeah.
I personally think, as a church, as a body of Christ, we need to do more in terms of educating ourselves, in terms of not over spiritualizing things. If a couple has a traumatic experience, something has happened in case where the woman, for example, is disturbed, so she's not feeling charged to have sex. It's not everything that it has to be prayer. If they need to seek counseling outside of the church setting where they will feel more comfortable to be open, to be real, then we should encourage and point them towards that. If it's to do with, okay, my partner is not helping me enough, so of course I'm too tired to be wanting to do this, then we should also point them to the necessary quarters or places where they can get the help. Because one thing I find, being in a pastoral position or getting to counsel people, is that there are certain things that people will not confidently, freely share, just because of the context of our relationship. But if I really want to help them, if as a church, our focus is on getting healing for this couple where it's needed, then we should be able to signpost them to a place where they can feel vulnerable and discuss things. Things happen and life is in stages. So a couple's sexual life will not be the same after having kids. A couple's sexual life will be different once they hit certain age or certain milestone. And things change, sometimes for health reasons. And in every relationship, one will have the high libido than the other. So it's also understanding each other and knowing, okay, if for example, my husband might want to have sex 5 times a week, and all I can happily do is 2 times a week. How do we navigate and work that? How do we communicate that to each other, so that we're still serving each other, that even if I don't give you the 5 days a week, I'll give you 2 quality days. Coming to that agreement and being able to talk it through and work our way to the point where we find a solution. But I think the key thing is to not over spiritualize things. If there's need for physical help, then let's seek that physical help. So be it.
Yeah, thank you. Are you there?
Nothing to add. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
here. Nothing to add from my side. Like I mentioned earlier, it's communication. Communicate. Again, is not in your head. Yes, you live in the same house, but it doesn't know what's going on with you. So you have to communicate. And if you both decide external help is required, then please go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, I was going to talk about finances because I think we mentioned a little bit about that when it comes to career stuff. So yeah, because finances also causes issues in homes. So I'm not going to skip that. Oh yeah, I'll just skip all these other ones. So I'm just going to go on to the game. And the game is, where is this? It's a would you rather. I think this one. How do I do that? Okay. So, I think so this one is, would you rather be a man or a woman? I think we've already covered this. So I'll skip this one. Right? So the next one is, would you rather go on a shopping spree or can you see the pictures?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So would you rather go on a shopping spree or go on a luxury go on an holiday?
I will go on holiday.
Awesome.
Same here, holiday.
Oh bless. Okay. So in this one, would you rather do laundry over and over again, right? So that you will never do dishes, or would you prefer it the other way?
Personally, I do dishes. I don't really do a lot of laundry.
And laundry, it depends on if you want me to do it in the washing machine or wash with my hands.
Exactly.
Sure. So the next one is, would you rather be a famous actress or a famous author?
Actress. I'm not into that writing business.
I think I would rather be an author.
Oh, you don't like paparazzi thinking?
Yes, I think you can. For me, I look at it. I'm a camera shy person, even though some people find that difficult to believe. I'd rather impact behind the scene, that I can walk down the road like any other person without you necessarily knowing it's me. Whereas being an actress, like, I can't just walk down the road without, and just be normal.
Yeah.
Because somebody knows you. You're under scrutiny. If I, as an actress now, say you're just on the road, just crashing yourself, the camera will catch you, you're scratching. Whereas any other person can do the same thing and go unnoticed. So that's, for me personally, I'd rather do things and pack behind the scenes than on the screen.
Oh, bless. Yeah. So the next one is, would you rather be known as someone that is intelligent, right, or someone that is smart, kind and friendly?
Kind and friendly.
Yeah, same here, kind and friendly.
What about intelligence? I don't. Thank you.
There's that there's a Yoruba proverb, but basically a name is better than something something. I can't remember. But just what people remember about you is quite important. And if they feel like you've been kind to them, you're a good person, I think that carries more weight than, oh, she's an intelligent person. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So so book of Psalm or book of Proverbs?
Both.
Yeah, you have to choose one.
I was going to say this is a tricky one, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is a tricky one. For me, book of Psalm is relatable because I'm a worshiper, and it's different seasons, the good times, the bad times. Whereas Proverbs gives you wisdom for life, nuggets. So that's why I would say both. But if I have to choose, I think I would say Psalm.
Okay. And you?
I'll go with Psalms as
Oswald?
well, and just because there's the place of thanksgiving, you know.
Yeah.
Psalms is about thanks, is about praising God for both things seen and unseen. So if I want wisdom, I'll just thank God for the wisdom I want in advance.
Yeah.
Which then taps into the Proverbs, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so I'll go with Psalms.
Okay, so would you rather have an honest friend or an engaging friend? I mean, encouraging friend, sorry. An honest friend, a friend that will tell you the truth no matter what, or a friend that will kind of always encourage you, whether good or bad.
I would choose an honest friend because in the long run, it will make me a better person. So you're not just with me when I'm doing right, when I'm not doing it right. Because as humans, we all have blind spots. You can call me out and I can work on things and be a better me. As an honest friend, it doesn't mean that you can't encourage me. So maybe if I'm just in certain circumstances, I'm just being a weakling when I need to, stand my ground and take charge, and you are able to point that out, that's fine because you show me my blind spot. So it depends on what you then now mean by an encouraging friend. Is it someone who will tell me what I want to hear all the time? So I prefer honesty.
Yeah.
I might not like it, but in the long run, it will produce a better result for me.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, same for me. Honesty. I would rather you say it as it is, and if I have to learn from it, then so be it. Than encouraging, which may or may not be beneficial to me at that point in time. Right?
Yeah. True. So you can encourage you whether you're doing something good or you're doing bad. They'll find
exactly.
one to tell you.
Exactly.
That you will not know the right steps to take. Being honest.
Yeah.
So would you rather have a peaceful life, right? Just slow and steady, just do your thing, or be adventurous?
Peaceful for me.
Peaceful.
Oh, okay.
But the reality is life is full of adventure.
True that. True that. Yeah, and I think that is everything. Right, so thank you very much for your time. I know I requested for 30 minutes, 1 hour, but we ended up spending about 2 hours. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I'm
sorry that I had to turn my camera off because I'm at work. So I have to have the permission of my client to be on camera.
Yeah, with regards to this, I might have to ask for a picture, to kind of cover the time that you guys kind of like off camera, so I can just put a picture there. I know this picture here that I can see for you, Mrs. Elizabeth, it's quite nice. But yeah, just send me another picture, please.
Okay, I'll send you another picture.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Yeah.
Okay, I actually needed to run soon, so I need to go. But thank you, it's been interesting, really good.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All
Have a
the
blessed.
best.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yeah.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.